Governor Reynolds and Mr. Schatz, thanks for being here. In 2021, Governor Reynolds, you led the state of Iowa in challenging OSHA's unconstitutional private sector COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent that the filed lawsuit by Governor Reynolds and Governor Reynolds' November 5th, 2021 press release be entered into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you. In that suit, Iowa, Arizona, my state, and 9 other states argued that the federal government lacks the constitutional authority under its enumerated powers to issue this mandate, and its attempt to do so unconstitutionally infringes on the state powers expressly reserved by the 10th Amendment. That's what the lawsuit said, Governor, and I agree with that. And guess who else agreed with it? The courts agreed with it. And it was the same vaccine mandate that led me to introduce my legislation, which is pending. It's called OSHA, which would return to the states the authority to regulate workplace health and safety. And I noticed that Iowa and Arizona, along with 20 other states, currently operate under an OSHA state plan.
Right.
Is it correct that to approve a state plan, OSHA certifies that the state's workplace health and safety plans exceed federal requirements?
Yes.
And Iowa, like Arizona, has maintained an approved state plan since 1985.
Yes.
Do you believe that state officials and the people of Iowa are better positioned to set workplace health and safety standards than the federal government?
I do.
If the power to set these standards were returned fully to the states, would you maintain Iowa's existing high standards for workplace safety, or would you make it your mission to put your constituents at risk of danger in the workplace?
I would keep it as exemplar as it is right now.
Thank you. Let's go to a different topic, kind of where you've been when my colleague wouldn't let you answer questions, but we'll try to get there here. So our nation's $36 trillion in debt with a structural deficit. That's a structural deficit, not a cyclical deficit, of $2 trillion each year, and it's rising. Just last year, for the first time, payments on interest on our debt alone eclipsed our defense budget. Meanwhile, we're losing hundreds of billions of dollars annually to waste, fraud, abuse, improper payments, etc. Mr. Schatz, thanks for your testimony today. If you're tasked with stopping taxpayers from being defrauded in transfer payment programs, could that be accomplished without a thorough review of how the federal government actually sends money out the door?
Absolutely not. In order to determine how the money is being spent, somebody has to see what it looks like. And that's been a big problem for a long time, is no one's looked at it. They just make the payments, and they don't prevent it from being wasted when it goes out of the door.
Governor Reynolds, you know, you've done great work in Iowa. I've watched it. Your model for, that you've provided for the country is fantastic. Did your reorganization include reviews and improvements to state systems focused on stopping waste, fraud, and abuse, as Mr. Schatz described?
It absolutely did. And with the realignment and the visibility, as I said earlier, that I now have into each agency, it gives us even more opportunities to continue to refine and make our systems better. You know, it's not a matter of, there's money in the system. We're just not using it efficiently and effectively. And there's no accountability, there's no transparency. And this has allowed us to bring that to the forefront. Right.
And so I'm going to ask you, Governor Reynolds, and then you, Mr. Schatz, to respond to this. When you get an opportunity to look at line-by-line budgeting, where the expenses go, that allows you to make adjustments to what is really critical on fraud, waste, duplicative programs, et cetera.
Yeah, especially the duplicate and the fraud. It allows us to review them line by line and make decisions accordingly.
Yeah. Mr. Schatz.
That's correct. In fact, the federal government does not have anything online where taxpayers can see exactly how every penny is being spent. Ohio has an Ohio checkbook. You can look it up online. There are so many things that are not done here the way they're done, not just in the private sector, but along the states. And I know there have been efforts to modernize technology with 80% of the IT being legacy systems. Government is far behind in providing the transparency taxpayers need. That's part of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, so I'm actually baffled that instead of cheering the administration's efforts to conduct a thorough and necessary review of the systems, they're receiving, you know, these doomsday scenarios, these statements that they want to stop it. And I don't know why you want to stop it. I mean, in my home state of Arizona, we actually do the same thing. You can go online and you can see a line by line. I asked for a line by line, one single agency. I just wanted one agency. Can you give me a line by line budget to look at? They brought me 2 books like this, and none of them were line by line. They didn't cover every program within that agency, and they didn't describe everything that was there. This is what we have to correct if we're going to get out of our structural deficit hole, and I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman.